Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Friday, April 15, 2022. Sun in Aries, Moon in Libra. We express ourselves by our actions, and we have an inner drive to find the truth and seek to balance our relationships, especially to the people and things we like, love, and can't get enough of. Now is a time to act from the intellect. Begin to find the facts that will help you level the playing field for yourself and those that you keep the closest. The waxing gibbous nearly full moon at this time invites us to tie up the loose ends and the culmination of some goals so that we have a good reason to celebrate appreciating what we've made for ourselves so far. I'm going to get right into the aspects, but first I'd like to point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols have made it into the key. If you desire a point of reference, it's right here. I also want to say about the key that, I try to only put the symbols that are on the page in the keys. So if you sort of go down the list and see what the key words are for those symbols, you kind of get an idea what the energies are that we're working with for the day. Often we'll have all of the planets, but today we're missing a couple, so we're less affected by those planets' actions at this time. And often we'll have 4, 5, maybe even 6 aspect energies, and today we have only 2, conjunct and sextile. So we can see that we've got all of this character growth going on here, and then the energies are going to be amplified, intensified, and also cooperative, so that we can work together to, bring about good things for ourselves. I've otherwise divided the page into 2 columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects that the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things you think, feel, know, and intuit, but may choose whether or not to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is the outward expression of yourself in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on this side because these have a greater impact or a greater involvement in that outward expression, those things that we experience out in our outer lives. Now, we have no exact aspects today, and this happens only rarely, but it doesn't mean we lack any celestial influence. In the ongoing column today, we see Jupiter conjunct Neptune making the greater part of our energies. Right now, this seems to be in touch with all of the other aspects that we have been having. Pisces and Sagittarius may especially notice these vibes right here. Friends, forgive my indulgence, or indulge me if you will, and my 3rd grade level artwork. I guess you could say I felt more inspired than usual, and it came across in this form of expression. In Greek tradition, Neptune is the god of the waters. What can we create without the use of water? We literally can't live without it. Its use is necessary to create almost everything we consume, from food to aluminum, paper, and plastic. And let's not forget wood. Trees are pumps and filters of water. In a conjunct aspect, a planet's effects are amplified or sort of squeezed to give the most essential of their character's influence. Neptune under pressure increases the flow of this creative, essential water in a symbolic way. So when water energy becomes intense, the emotions can also become intense. The psychic or intuitive energies can feel intense. The level of inspiration, feeling connected in an all-one sort of level to humanity and spirit and creative potential, all of this is very strong right now. And who is Neptune conjunct to but Jupiter, Neptune's brother and Greek god of the sky, which encompasses the heavens and the air we breathe right down to the water and the earth. Jupiter's motto is easy to recall: the sky's the limit. meaning basically that you can be, do, and have as much as you want, as big as you can grow. And Jupiter, in the intensified conjunct energy, wants to give as much as it possibly can, more than can be received even. Jupiter and Neptune together here have opened up sort of a torrential rain of creative energy, fertile opportunities, and inspired flow. What kind of abundance are you creatively calling in? Jupiter provides a lot of optimism as well, so it's a good time to go for something you think you'd be lucky to achieve. Also in the ongoing column, Sun sextile Saturn is with us through the 19th. This gives us a lot of focus, drive, and positive functioning in our outer lives toward the sense of security or stability that we need. Aries, Leo, Capricorn, and Aquarius will be the most affected here. I see this like an umbrella of focus, good habits, and activity that can help us process this deluge of the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction and also help us keep our heads above water in terms of attending our real daily lives and responsibilities, those things that we are disciplined to do or dedicated to do. Tomorrow, we will have a full moon in Libra. This will be the time to celebrate how far we've come on our journey, how we've grown, and what we've gained. Air feeds fire, friends. This full moon is an opportunity to appreciate the inner resources that help us maintain drive and forward motion. Coming up this Sunday, Mercury will make a sextile aspect with Venus and then a conjunction with Uranus, offering up an opportunity to change our minds or our plans, especially possibly with respect to the kind of attention or compensation we like to receive. Next week on Monday, Venus is going to go sextile with Uranus, allowing some cooperative functioning to make changes in regards to that which we wish to attract. And then on Tuesday, the Sun will leave Aries, making ingress to Venus-ruled Taurus. So here we are. We're coming up to the end of the Aries season. We're gonna go on into Taurus. Are we in the last 10 days, 7 days? We're in the last 10 days for sure. We might be in the last 7 days. This is really a time of review for the Sun's transit through a sign. The very end of it, you might feel those energies of that Sun transit through Aries sort of intensifying. We feel more bold, or we feel more impatient, or we feel just more active or more restless to be active. We have our assertiveness on, and it feels really good at this time. Okay, that's it for today's astrology. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe, and click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And my friends, I appreciate it very much when you comment to ask questions and provide encouragement. It isn't just gratifying for me to know that you're listening, but it lets YouTube know that you're engaged in the content. And I see you all helping me out with that, and I just want to say I really appreciate it. Also, if you know anyone for whom this guidance might resonate, I encourage you to share. And now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about Tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I'll discuss the Tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's get into that. The card on the side of the page today is the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is it represents the last 10 days of the Sun's transit through Aries. So this is a time of celebration, of homecoming. It's not really like the culmination of a goal, but it's really like, we've pulled together some resources, we created a plan, we watched it unfold, it benefited us, and maybe we're not to the end of our goal yet, but we have reason to celebrate. We're going to have a homecoming. We're going to appreciate the relationships that we have that inspire us and keep us engaged. and we're going to appreciate being in our community. It's sort of like a time of peace after a period of hard work. So you've been working hard on these plans you're trying to culminate, and this is a good time to just sort of get together with people that can appreciate where you've been and what you've been doing, and let them help you celebrate. You celebrate harmony and joy and good relationships at this time. So that is the Four of Wands. Wands are fire. Aries is fire. When the sun moves into Taurus, we're going to move into an earth sign. So then we'll switch over to Pentacles in the Tarot, because that is the earth of the Tarot. Now I am going to mix up my cards while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Aries. So is Chiron. Chiron has been in Aries since 2018, will be there till 2027. So for another 5 years, we can expect these themes around our comfort with expressing ourselves and our sense of belonging in the groups that we're part of to keep coming up until hopefully we get it right. Hopefully sometime before 2027. But we all have work to do on how to include people, and now's the time to be doing it. Sun in Aries is just a time of new beginnings, fresh starts. That spring green color always comes to mind for me, the fresh growth of the leaves on the bushes and trees, the fresh growth of the grass out on my lawn, which is actually not mostly grass, it's mostly moss. It's really pretty, and some clover. So, I really appreciate the springtime. I love the waking up. I love the blooming of the flowers and the fresh start feel of it. And I love the way it just, like having more sunlight every day kind of makes me want to move around more. It kind of makes me feel like being more active and involved in my own well-being. So take advantage of those vibes while you've got them. And then the nearly full moon in Libra, the moon will be full in Libra tomorrow in the afternoon. So the nearly full moon in Libra just, invites us to tie up those loose ends as we, come into this celebration, where during our celebration, we are also celebrating, the balance of our relationships, the balance of our lives, and the way these complementary opposite elements, fire and air, both sort of feed and destroy one another. Creating a sort of a balance of the elements as well. Tie up your loose ends so that you have a reason to celebrate. And then today we didn't have any current aspects, but we had a couple of ongoing aspects. Jupiter conjunct Neptune is here with us through the 25th or the 29th, through nearly the end of the month. So, our cup runneth overeth. Our cuppeth runneth overeth here. If you notice an increase in dreams, in just colorful, imaginative ideas, a love of art at this time, a feeling of being connected to spirit or humanity, feeling of being more inspired than usual, more creative. Understand that we're also more fertile at this time. Like Jupiter is more, and Neptune is create. So conjunct, that's just intensified both of those energies, and so we're calling it a downpour. And then Sun sextile Saturn is here with us through, I believe, the 19th or something. So that's really helpful, when we've got this creative sort of deluge coming in, to have a little bit of dry ground to stand on. The sun and Saturn are working together to give us like focus and remind us of our good habits, and to keep us active in maintaining our commitments, even though we're feeling all of this creative, inspiring flow coming in. So I think those are working very well together. And that song keeps coming up for me. I can't remember what it's called, but it's by The Police, and he says, "It's a big enough umbrella, but it's always me that ends up getting wet." Okay. We have the High Priestess today. Friends, the High Priestess guides us, asks us, advises us, reminds us to trust our gut, our guidance, and our intuition, okay? Not all of the information, like you can go around and collect data, and that's what we do, especially, you know, when Libra is involved, we collect data, we look for facts, we want to know, you know, hard truths so that we can make fair judgments about things. But there's a part of judgment that is also discernment. It is the stuff you can't see. You notice you may notice that the high priestess almost always has some sort of a curtain hanging behind her, and that curtain has to do with, you know, sort of reminding us that there are things going on behind the scenes. You know, things going on behind the scenes, even in our own minds. We have a conscious and a subconscious, right? So the high priestess is the person who trusts what comes from her subconscious, who is engaged in their shadow and engaged in what's going on in their heart and mind, to a degree that even when they don't necessarily have the hard facts or know why they judge something to be a certain way, they judge it to be that way anyway, because they're relying on their intuition, because they've learned to trust their intuition. And this is the message of this card. Trust your gut, your guidance, and your intuition. The High Priestess is also a very moony card. There's a moon right here. There's sort of a three-way moon at this person's head. So it's really about what's going on the inside, in the inner life. Those things you think, feel, know, and intuit, but don't have to express. You know, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't trust what is going unexpressed. So, High Priestess, and this is great also with the Jupiter conjunct Neptune. You know, it's about expanding that creative capacity, expanding that flow of inspiration, because inspiration is where you get that intuitive data that gives you the hunch that says yes to this or no to that, right? So yes, trust your gut, your guidance, and your intuition, says a wise man that I know. And also, you know, don't forget to relate to your family and your community. Give yourself and them a chance to celebrate. If you can spend some time at home during this time, or at least get in touch with the people who are at home, it's a good idea. All right, I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate the heck out of you all for being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.